But this next one could be either one of the best fights of the night, or it's gonna be a snooze fest. I really want to know. I want y'all bet. So if it's gonna be hot or cold. But Teofimo Lopez getting in the ring against Arnold Barboza Jr. Go ahead, all.
You know what? Teofimo has a lot to prove because even though he broke out first out of that lightweight group when he beat Lomachenko, when Lomachenko was Super Loma, high tech, from that point, his career got derailed not only by the Kambosos loss, but then by fights where he either didn't look great or the fight was irrelevant, he's retiring, blah, 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 blah. So now being on this card in and of itself, I think says a lot about Teofimo's attitude.
Yeah.
Because he's not the main event. He's not the one trying to sell the pay-per-view. He's right here. I think he's planning to make a statement. And I think that he's planning to then line himself up for some real big fights because whatever it was, whether it was contractually, promotionally, or whether it was the personal relationship problems that he was having, something derailed this young man's career. And when he's at his best and he's explosive, he's must-see TV.
Yeah.
So I think that on this card, again, we're looking at a situation where there's another guy in Teofimo who has something to prove. And Barboza is there like, actually, I've been doing this work.
Yeah.
And guess what? This is my shot.
Yeah.
I'm going to have eyes on me, and I'm going to try for this upset city.
Yeah. I believe that Teofimo should be coming to the ring with the mindset that I'm supposed to be the main event tonight. And I think if it were me, and again, if I was coaching him, I would be coaching him to make sure you make such a big splash in that ring on fight night that the rest of the night is dry. You have to be so big and explosive and mean and everything, every movement, everything that you do. You can't be waiting on the perfect punch against Arnold Barboza because Arnold's waiting on the perfect punch. And I've got a feeling they're both going to be waiting on the perfect punch. And I think it's going to be the crowd getting both these guys going. But if it were me, I would be walking to the ring, not feeling disrespected, just feeling like, okay, you did something wrong on fight night. After I get out the ring, y'all going to want to go home, you know? So what you got, Antt?
Just Teofimo. Anytime I count him out, he comes in and he's Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
When I think he's Michael Jordan, he comes in, he's Tony Kukoc. That's big. That's a big difference. Okay, that's a big difference. And he's still hooping, but he ain't Mike. But Teofimo, man, he has to come in and just be the man that we know you can be.
Yeah.
Just be who. It's like he's in the ring, literally trying to find himself doing the fight.
Yeah.
I just wish he could find himself outside the ring.
Well, it's funny you say that because interesting you say that. It seems like the fights where he was supposed to game plan, Lomachenko, the Josh Taylor fight, those fights specifically where he knew he needed the game plan and really got up and ready for those fights. The other fights where they like we said before, they're kind of like no-name guys or maybe guys he ain't got a lot of footage on or whatever the case may be. He's been dry. This one right here, I still feel like it's hit or miss. I got a feeling he gonna have to turn up for New York. He got to turn up for New York.
He's in New York. He's got to turn up in New York.
He got to turn up for New York.
That is where the Kambosos loss happened.
I know.
And he already had the health issues. It wasn't just, you know what I mean? Because he had a lot of problems. And then there was all the talk about, as this panel will certainly understand, his relationship with his father. Yeah. And what it was that did to and for his career.
Yeah.
You know, and whether or not he needed to separate from his father and go with another trainer to actually hone his skill to another level. To me, Teofimo's issue is always between his ears.
Yep.
And I think ability-wise, he's explosive. He's there. But as we all know, for any sport, if you don't have it together between your ears, it doesn't matter what you can do physically.
I think he needs to realize when you're in that ring, Sean, you probably know when you're in the ring, that's your therapy. Got to let everything else go. And I know he's dealing with one of them crazy ones when they're talking about our babies. And he mentioned it on here.
Yeah.
That's a hard one to let go.
Yeah.
But when you get in that ring for 12 rounds, we just need to lock in and be Teofimo Lopez that we know you can be.
You know what's interesting? I'll give you guys this perspective. It's like you got X amount of time to handle family. Yeah. You got X amount of time to handle business, right? And then even in a camp, you can still handle family and you can still handle business. But the closer you get to the fight, and I'm not talking about 2 weeks out, 1 week out. I'm talking 4 weeks out, 5 weeks out, 6 weeks out. That family has to start to kind of trickle away. That business has to start to trickle away. And I actually been teaching my boys about tunnel vision lately. You ask Pooh Bear what tunnel vision means. He'll say, well, you can only see what's in front of you. But you have to get this tunnel vision. And it's like, I love you. I'm going to come back for you. Yeah. The only way I can come back for you is if I get this done correctly, right? And you're right. It becomes therapy. It becomes, I got to get this done and I got to do it right so I can get back to get that done and get that right. You know what I mean? So it really is, it's this juggling thing, right? But the closer you get to a fight, and like I said before, I'm talking 5 or 6 weeks out, it becomes just boxing. Just boxing. And the closer you get, it's just boxing. And it's, I know I got you over there, but I got you. You know what I mean? So it's a funny thing. I feel like every other athlete has been able to figure that out, but boxers have a hard time trying to juggle life and in the ring, you know? Go ahead, Zittel.
Well, one thing though, a lot of it, like I agree about all the psychological stuff about Lopez, but some of it is physical. It's styles.
Yeah.
Lomachenko and Taylor, they're two aggressive southpaws. They get their best work done mid-range, close range. It's the rangy guys that move on the back foot that give Lopez problems. Kambosos threw him off with that in and out a little bit. Sandor Martin, Jermaine Ortiz, like the book is out. So I don't always believe in Teofimo's ability to adjust or the ability to cut the ring off. But one thing I do believe in is his talent. He is a very special talent in the ring. I just expect, again, Barboza has that intelligent footwork to give Teo some real fits, but I just expect Teo's talent to find a way. To find a way, even if it doesn't look good, even if it is like the Sandor Martin and Jermaine Ortiz fights. And I think that Barboza woke him up a little too soon. I think, I think like sometimes you let sleeping dogs lie. And then sometimes you don't tug on Superman's cape. And I think once Lopez smacked him in New York, he changed the play a little bit. Barboza was working up a head of steam and psychologically, and Lopez gave him a y'all must have forgot moment there. Like, hey, I'm still T.O. So I just expect his talent to find a way to prevail, but it might not look good if he doesn't adjust and use his IQ and just,
I just think for Barboza, the fight doesn't look good if he wins this fight. He's not overly aggressive. He's not very aggressive at all. He's a kind of fighter that's always looking for the perfect punch, but he doesn't release the punch with a lot of accuracy, doesn't release the punch with a whole lot of speed or tenaciousness and all of those like key ingredients that it would take to beat somebody like Teofimo Lopez. So I think that if he beats Teo, it's going to be a really dry, boring fight. I hate to say that about Arnold, but Arnold has,
he'll pick his spots though.
He has picked his spots, especially in his last fight.
In this fight, I think he'll pick his spots if
he's got to pick his spots. And he ain't no punk. That's the good thing about this fight.
That's what he's gonna let Teo know at some point.
That's the good thing about this. The good thing about this is while he's trying to counter punch and find the perfect punch and be in perfect range and distance and all these things, it's like he misses all of these opportunities. To your point, he's picked that up and he's been able to find more opportunities and kind of like make them. He's been able to find moments to make them. If he's able to do that against Teo, he's got to be ready for the comeback. On the other side of that, Teo got to go in order to really get off on Arnold.
And I know when I say this, he's technically the only undefeated fighter on the card.
Barboza?
I
think it's critical for Teo to come into this fight like this is the pinnacle of his career.
Has to.
And what we've seen is that sometimes he gets that and sometimes he doesn't. And if he win and if he comes in like this is the last and most important fight of my career, he's very tough to handle.
Yes.